This Freezing Strike Monk character reaches the end game in Path of Exile 2. We got all the 8 ascendancy points and we are comfortably doing tier 15 maps. On the clearing speed, we do a ton of AoE damage, clearing group of mobs by shattering them everywhere with just one click. This is in a tier 15 map. This AoE effect can sometimes affect the entire screen. On the single target damage, this is one of the bosses in the 10 rune ultimatum ascendancy challenge. We simply killed him before he can do anything to us. This is another time we're facing him. The damage is insane and it is consistent. This is why I got my last 2 ascendancy points easily. Once we got into the Trial Master's room, the fight was a joke. He can barely touch us. It is because of our defense. We have 74% evasion, which means we can evade enemy attacks 74% of the time. And also we have 66% armor, which means our physical damage reduction is 66%. Combining these two makes us really tanky. We already capped all of our fire, lightning, cold, elemental resistances. And the second priority is to get our chaos resistance high. We have 70%. We can face tank a lot of the things in the game already. And on the passive tree, I made some changes. So the major one is basically getting more skill speed here, instead of getting the chance of shock and a little bit more damage. And we also get a little bit more evasion and energy shield. And also I try to get a lot of movement speed on my gear and also on the passive tree. Another change here is also getting this point, so we have actual 3% of movement speed. Instead of getting the ascendancy point, thunder my enemies to ignore elemental resistances on critical hits. Instead, I went up here on the passive tree to get this heavy frost to basically ignore the elemental resistances. I believe these are doing the same thing. I might be wrong, but so far it works well. So if we are not taking this one, we basically can take the unbound avatar. So this will give us a lot of elemental damage. I believe that's 40% and also 80% more chance to inflict elemental elements. So this is really good for the boss fight. Other than that, respect some point here, passive point here. We are not taking these. Instead, we're basically taking a lot of the critical damage bonus nodes and critical hit chance everywhere. I think in the end, I'm going to pick this node for 30% increase the defense while wielding a staff. And we get a little bit more freeze buildup, which is very good. If you are interested in the entire passive tree, I think I went over them in my last video. Welcome to check them out and also be mindful about the changes I made to this build. If you know there are some planner website out there, let me know. I tried some of the planner out there, but I can barely make it work. Sorry about that, guys. Let me know, leave your comment below. On the skill side, we're using unbounded avatar, so this is from our ascendancy point. For the ice strike, we actually get 6 link, and we don't really need this. So the absolute needed one is the martial tempo, primal armament, concentrate the effect. I think these 4 links can carry us all the way to tier 15 maps without any issue. And in the end, if we can get to 5th link, we can have inspiration to reduce our mana cost, which is absolutely huge. And the last one, I'm not quite sure yet. I'm using the Crescendo skill gem to basically repeat our final strike, dealing a lot of damage. This can be particularly good for boss fight. On the Tempest Bell, we're putting Reach, Front of Reach, Close Combat, and also Glaciation to help building up the freeze. For the other things, I didn't make any changes. We use Wind Dancer with Blind and Calling Strike. Charge the staff, I'm still on 4th link. I'm looking for the 5th link and try to see what else we can use. We use Persistence, Conduction, Perpetual Charge. We're still using Combat Presence skills, together with Profusion and Clarity to help mana regen. Herald of Ice setup like this. Cold Penetration, Magnified Effects, and Cannibalism to get 4% life on kill. Herald of Thunder with Mam and also Lightning Mastery. We also run Infable on Blasphemy. This is really not necessary. I think if we can get a lot of intelligence, we can try to run the one that drop the orb to recharge our energy. Maybe it's called a Grim. For now, we're running this to provide us a layer of protection. And still we're using Ghost Dance with Fast Forward. On the gear side, I think so far I probably spent around 4 to 5 divines to get this build. But like I said, you can get a much cheaper one, probably with around 1 divine or 2 divines top to be able to get to tier 15 map on this character. So this is the weapon I got for about 2 divines 2 days before. So I basically focus on physical damage. That is the most important stat we want on our weapon. A little bit of critical hit chance gonna help, a little bit of attack speed gonna help, but these are really luxury to have. So without the critical hit chance and the attack speed, we can get this probably about a divine. That would be good enough. And on the helmet, we're focusing on energy shield and get life and resistances. The only thing I want to mention is this ring. Without this ring, we cannot really have that AoE effect about the entire screen. With this one, we can chill our enemies and shatter them as if they are frozen. We have our, for example, Ascendancy here to basically creating chill ground. We do a lot of cold damage that chills enemy, and with this ring, we basically chill them very fast, don't have to wait them to be frozen and then shatter them with our Herald of Ice and Herald of Thunder. As you can see in the earlier footage, we can really clear the full screen of the mob very quickly, so this feels really satisfactory. On other gear, especially on the armor, we focus on evasion and energy shield because this will translate to the spirit because of our ascendancy choice. And then we can reserve a lot of the spirit for running Herald of Ice, Herald of Thunder, and other spirit gems. Other things, we just focused on resistances and life. And that's pretty much about it. Ideally, we should get a lot of chaos resistances on the ring. I got this one around maybe 20 to 30 exalt. Not that crazy, but we should focus on chaos resistance here and also some chaos resistance on the belt. Other than that, it's basically resistances and life. If you cannot afford life, that's okay. Like what I do here, I don't have any life on here and also on the ring, but we can cap our resistance. That's the first priority because we also have more than 2000 energy shield together with 1500 life. This feels pretty tanky enough. If we can really afford, we can get more life on the belt, on the gloves, and also on the ring. On our boots, I get 35% increased movement speed. I absolutely love this. This makes us move very fast and also be able to dodge some of the boss's attack. Dodge some of the very annoying attack, I would say. And as you can see, I don't really have life on it, but just to focus on movement speed, some resistances, and I put a 7% chaos resistance on this. On the charm, I'm basically switching between the frozen one and the bleed one, depending on what happened in the fight. About how to play this build. In the fight, we basically just hit them with our ice strike. And then once we got our power charge, we will cast our charged staff. After that, we basically can shatter a lot of the mobs and do a lot of the AoE. And once we get more power charges, we can recast our charged staff. The duration of charged staff lasts for around 22 seconds, which is really long. We don't have to do the recharge a lot of time. We can have 3 of our power charges on almost all the time with the charged staff. Add the lightning damage to our ice strike, which is really strong. And then that's for the mobs. And then when we are facing some top rares or unique bosses, we can just drop our Tempest belt and then hit the belt and the boss together. We will be basically freezing them really fast and then do a lot of damage. And for sure, for some of the really tough bosses, we should basically save our unbound avatar all the way to the boss. Once we reach 100 energy or fury there, I don't know what it's called. Once that bar is at 100, we can basically cast the unbound avatar, which will give us the really boost elemental damage. That's why we can kill some of the bosses without them doing anything. Again, this is the full build. Let me know if you have any question. Leave your comment below or join our Discord channel to have further discussion. Hope you enjoyed the video. Happy holidays, guys. See you in the next one.